Tell him, McCluskey. Tell him what time it is.
Little Hen says it's time to rock and roll.
All you people are so scared of me.
Come quietly or there will be trouble.
Man, that's just me.
I'm Batman.
This is Sparta!
There is a tiger in the bathroom!
I'm an excellent driver.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
Pop quiz, hotshot.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
Sorry, Quaid. Your whole life is just a dream.
Okay, then. If I'm not me, who the hell am I?
Hello and welcome back to this week's Monday Movie Show, to our DVD and Blu-ray section. Coming up in this show, we'll have a look at the DVD and Blu-ray top 10 for the UK, and after that we'll have reviews of
American Pie Reunion, the fourth to feature the original cast, but something like the 8th, 9th in the series. Safe, starring Jason Statham, animated film Pirates and an Adventure with Scientists, Cold Light of Day starring future Superman Henry Cavill. The Hot Potato and the DVD alternative is Nosferatu ein Symphonie des Grauens.
I'm glad you had to say that and not me, because I really don't want to try.
I was the one who chose it.
I know, yeah. I was just dreading if I had to try and pronounce it, but I'm glad I don't. Okay, let's go straight into the DVD and Blu-ray top 10 then to get the show started.
Yeah, at number 10, The Expendables.
Yeah, still hanging around because of the second one being out in the cinema. It's a big dumb 80s throwback action film with loads of 80s action stars and a few more recent ones like Jason Statham in it. I don't have a big problem with it. It is what it is. It's a dumb action film, brainless, not brilliant, but okay, and not as good as the second one.
At number 9, and you went me for Piranha 3DD.
Which I refuse to see on principle, so you'll have to cover this one.
Yeah, what it is with Piranha 3DD, it has been given a standard release, but not on Blu-ray. On DVD, it's just Piranha DD. So it's Piranha DD on DVD, but Piranha 3DD on Blu-ray. So it's just a strange release for it. Yeah, it's nowhere near as good as the Piranha 3D, because Piranha 3D was a bit cheesy, but it worked really well. This one just goes absolutely insane, and what do you expect from the directors of a film called Feast? So it's not very good, unfortunately. Number 8, and you went me for Jaws.
Not really a lot to say about this, other than that the reason it's in the top 10 is because it has finally been released on Blu-ray. I haven't seen this, but I have heard a lot of people going absolutely crazy for this, saying that the transfer is amazing, that it's a really good transfer. I don't know if I'm going to try and get hold of it. I've got the original, the DVD version, which is the 25th anniversary, I think, and the picture on that is stunning for a DVD for a 25-year-old film. So I was happy with that. I mean, I might try and get it in the future, but right at the moment, unfortunately, it's not. There's not the appeal there for me. I did see some of it again on television, and it still looked amazing.
Yeah, at number 7, now Andy wants to skip over this. I wonder why. Barbie and the Princess and the Pop Star.
Yeah, I mean, really? I mean, tell me what is wrong with this? Gets into the top 10. I mean, just why? Really? Why?
I honestly don't know why. Lots of girls seen it. It's that impulse thing. Mummy, buy me a DVD. And she sees that one and buys it because it's cheaper than standard DVDs. That's the only reason why, I'm guessing. At number 6, Cinderella.
Which is the Disney release, which I think is, again, Blu-ray that's brought this back into the top 10 last week. Yep. Yeah. So I mean, it's the fairy tale but done Disney. I mean, there's not a lot to say about it. It's not one of the most memorable ones for me. I have seen it, but I don't remember that much of it. It's not up there with the likes of Snow White and Lion King and those brilliant Disney films. But given that it's had a Blu-ray release, some people really are after it, I guess.
It's the kind of problem that I said I had with it last week. I can't actually remember that much about Cinderella. And number 5, The Lucky One.
which is a perfectly fine romantic drama. It is sort of gearing towards the chick flick sort of genre, but with elements that will make it so that any guy out there who's watching it with his girlfriend or his wife, whoever he's seeing it with as a significant other, there's enough there for him. And I mean, Zac Efron in it gives a really good performance. It's just again, being that it's that romantic drama thing, it does suffer from the whole predictable, oh, this is going to happen at this point, this is going to happen at this point, and it's going to have this happen towards the end, and it does.
Yeah, number 4, Battleship.
A film that I saw at the cinema and enjoyed, big brain dumb action thing. I saw it again recently on DVD, and not so much. It doesn't work so well on the small screen. As well. Part of the whole thing of it was seeing it in the cinema, seeing it in somewhere with a loud thing up, and just sitting there and being prepared for that. At home, unless you have got a really big screen, I have, but I didn't watch it on it. I just watched it on the normal television, and it's just really
awful.
It's not awful, but
it's terrible.
I mean, it has effects going through it. It has terrible acting in it. It has ridiculous plot points, and yes, at some point they do work into it playing battleships, literally playing battleships with battleships. They don't say, as far as I can recall, you sunk my battleship, but they come pretty close.
That's the only thing that isn't said in it, because if it was, I would have demanded my money back.
I will say this, actually, having seen that and seen John Carter both at the cinema and on DVD, I like John Carter more.
They're both just as bad as each other, but if I had to choose one or the other, I would choose John Carter over Battleship, but both of them are terrible films. But Battleship is...
I should say John Carter...
because Battleship is just that dumb. John Carter is dumb, but not as bad as Battleship. And Battleship, honestly, it tries to take itself seriously, and it's rubbish. And number 3, new entry for Salmon Fishing in the Yemen.
Which, again, like the Lucky One, is a perfectly fine sort of drama with romantic elements and with some sort of little better comedy elements in there. Based on a book, it's Ewan McGregor is pretty good in it, and so is Emily Blunt.
Yes.
I had to think there for a second. They're both perfectly fine in it, and it's kind of a film that has an appeal to, I would say, all ages. It's one of those rare films. I expect it's only just come out. This is its first entry, this first week in the top 10. If it does anything like it did in the cinema, it'll hang around for a while, and I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, just before I go on to the number 2 entry, Mr. Moobs on the live chat thinks that John Carter is awesome, and he's a blind git. I shouldn't patronise people in the live chat, should I?
No, but you should clarify when you say that. He says he thinks John Carter is awesome. You're saying that he's blind, not him saying.
Yeah, I'm saying that Mr. Moobs is blind, and John Carter's blind. Number 2, a new entry for the Big Bang Series 5.
The Big Bang Theory, you mean?
Yeah, I forgot to mention Theory, didn't I? I can't believe that, considering it's one of my favourite TV programmes as well.
It is a theory. It's not proven yet.
No, the theory's there being proven.
Yeah, no, it's not a film, so we're not really covering it. But it's a great comedy series, especially for anyone who's a geek or a nerd and into a lot of the kind of films that you are finding in the top 10. So, I mean, there's anyone who hasn't seen any of it, I'll be surprised. But it's brilliant. You should check it out. If not by the season, then get hold of the first season, look at it, and then you'll probably want to get the box set with all of them.
Yeah, you can. I'm sure I saw the box set for something like £20-25 for the first 4 seasons, and the one with the 5th season in it for something like £35. So you're not paying too much, considering it is brilliant. Yeah. And at number 1, a not surprised new entry for The Hunger Games.
Yeah, Jennifer Lawrence as Katniss Everdeen, based on the book of the same name. The first of 3, well, sorry, actually correct that. The first of 4 films based on 3 books. It's perfectly fine. I haven't read the book yet. I have got it, but I haven't read it, so I don't know what it's like in comparison. But having, I have an issue with it where I think that it starts to fall apart in the last sort of 45 minutes.
Really? When it gets onto the Hunger Games part, you thought
no,
that's where it was weakest?
I think that's fine at that point. The Hunger Games is sort of the last hour and 20 minutes of it. And I unfortunately think that after a little while, that starts to drag on a bit. And then especially towards the end, things get a bit, lovey-dovey, yeah.
Lovey-dovey.
Lovey-dovey.
I thought it was lovey-dovey.
Yeah, but on this, it's duff, because it sort of gets to that point.
Okay, then.
Okay, let's take a break, and we'll be back after that with our first review of the DVD section.
Right, advert. What do I need to say in an advert? Well, I need to say that we're the Gamescast. I need to say that we're on Twitter at the Gamescast. I need to say we're on Facebook. I need to say we've got a website, thegamescast.com, and I need to say we're on YouTube. Oh yeah, and we're on this thing called Spreaker.com. Don't know where that came from. What else? That's probably it. Right, better record it. Oh, crap. That was 30 seconds. The Gamescast. Grown-up gamers talking about games. Allegedly.
Okay, welcome back to the show. Let's get on with some reviews and start with American Reunion, or American Pie, the Reunion, as it's known in some places. Has a lot of the returning cast from all the first two films. I don't think they were all in the third one.
They're actually not all in the second one, neither.
Are they not?
Surprise! No, there isn't. They're not all in the second one.
Okay, well, with the main one who has been in the first three, Jason Biggs returning with his now wife, played by Alison Hannigan, Jim and Michelle returning to their hometown. They're now married, have been married for a couple of years, have a 2-year-old son. They go back to visit Jim's dad and go back to town for a reunion, as the class reunion of 1999, I think it is.
Yeah.
And where they meet up again with all their friends. You have there Chris Klein, who plays Oz. You have Thomasine Nichols, who plays Kevin. You have Eddie K. Thomas, who plays Finch. And you have, of course, returning Sean William Scott, playing Stifler. Here's a clip.
Oh, yeah, man. It's that cheesy page in the yearbook where we all had to write wishes about our future.
What, did you write something cheesy? Well, let's see. Chris Ostreicher hopes to coach his son's lacrosse team.
Oh.
Isn't that the sweetest thing?
Well, I guess I thought I'd have a family by now.
You want to hear what you wrote, Finch?
I do.
Paul Finch hopes to find Le Grand Amour.
Yes, true love. Alas, I have yet to find what you would call a real relationship.
Right, because Bane Stifler's mom didn't count.
All right, let's see what you got, Kev. Kevin Myers hopes to still be living it up with the amazing Vicky Latham.
Man, Vicky.
I am sure your wife would be very happy to read that.
What? I was dating Vicky at the time.
Right?
Let me see what I put. Jim Levinstein. Hopes to have the sex life of Ricky Martin.
So I'm assuming you didn't know he was gay back then.
Okay, so there's not much more of a plot to the film than that, because it's just them getting together and then getting ready to go to this reunion and having a look at all their lives and how they've all sort of changed over the years, only that really a lot of them haven't. They've gone through certain things where, I mean, you've got now, Kevin is now married to a woman. You've got Oz is no longer with Heather, played by Mina Savari. He's now a big sort of a sports commentator who is going out with a supermodel. You've got Stifler is sort of an office temp, and he's the one who's the least moved on, but really none of them in particular has moved on any sort of considerable amount to really call this any superior to the previous films. It is just more of the same, and that's where it has a problem. It's just it hasn't evolved. For the fourth film in a series, it's just more of the same, and it's just not. You want more than, I mean, fourth in the series with these characters, as Stuart said earlier in the show, it's something like the 8th or 9th in the entire series. I haven't seen a lot of the other ones. I've seen the first 3, and I think Bandcamp.
Yeah, Bandcamp's the 4th one, and then Naked Mile, and then Book of Love, I think it is. So I think there's 3 more. I think.
Well, I haven't seen them, but I'm sure there was more than that. But it's a case of the whole thing of like the band getting back together, but having no new tunes to play. It's not bad, but for a comedy and comparing it to the others, I remember seeing. I didn't see the third one in the cinema. I saw the first and the second ones in the cinema, and laughed with the audience quite a bit and quite enjoyed them. The third one was okay, didn't particularly laugh a lot. This one, I think I laughed 4 times, so it doesn't reach the quota for having to laugh 6 times for it to be really considered a good comedy. And the thing is, I laughed most of those times in the first 5-10 minutes. There's an opening scene of it, which is, I mean, I think some of that's in the trailer as well. Anyway, so if you've seen the trailer,
there was a Red Band trailer released of it. A Red Band trailer is a trailer that's not been obviously rated. It was featured in the Red Band trailer.
Yeah, so I mean, if you've seen that, you've seen pretty much the funniest parts of the film. It's really only one to see if you're a big fan of the series and you want to see where these characters ended up. But chances are, by the end of it, you'll find the answer really rather depressing.
Yeah, there is another one in the Present series, Beta House. So there's 4 of them. Because I've just checked, because unfortunately I have them all on DVD. And, I'm sorry.
If there's any further ones, then you can be the one to review them.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with Andy. I actually laughed less than him. And if I've got all of the American Pie films, I must be a fan of them somehow. And I am, actually, apart from The Wedding, because The Wedding is awful. The third in the series.
I think that's the only one I actually do have on DVD.
It's awful, The Wedding. But I just didn't find this funny that much because it felt like a rehash of the first film, just them older. Like, none of them, even though they have supposedly better lives now, it just didn't feel like any of them grew up. They just felt like the same characters 10 years later down the line.
Yeah, the series hasn't evolved, and for a 4th film with the same characters, it really needed to.
I definitely completely agree with that. Oh my God, we're agreeing tonight on a few films.
Oh yeah, let's see with this and Dread, and we'll have to see what happens with the next one. Let's see what you're reviewing next, and see if I agree then.
Yeah, it's Safe. It's directed by Boaz Yakin. Awesome name. It's starring Jason Statham. Oh, he doesn't want to do it this week. I left a little gap there, and I thought he would actually do his impression of Jason Statham.
The Stath.
Help. He plays Luke Wright, who was an ex-cage fighter. At the start of the film itself, he's in a cage fight, which he's supposed to lose. He's actually been on a major losing streak. He wins this cage fight, and obviously the people who've been betting on him, this time specifically the Russian mob, has bet a hell of a lot of money on him to lose this fight. And so he ends up getting beaten up, and then the Russian mob is sent to his family, his wife gets killed, and he ends up becoming a vagrant. On the other side of the planet in China, there's a little girl, Mi, played by Catherine Chan, who has this knack of being able to... She's a maths whiz, in other words. She's able to learn very long sequences of numbers really easily and really quickly. And so she is kidnapped and brought to America, and she's used as sort of like an accountant kind of thing. She gets in all of the amounts of money that each of the businesses that the Chinese mob who've kidnapped her and brought her to America bring in, and finds out who is losing money, so they can obviously change the people who run that business there, because the Chinese mob want to bring in money. She's then told to learn this huge, massive digit of numbers, because these numbers are very important somehow, and it also leads to these other numbers, which has, again, something that's really important, which I'm not going to give away. She's then took into this the Chinese mob where she's told to learn these numbers. She then escapes and she runs into Jason Statham's character. Here's a clip.
This goes on, a lot of innocent people are going to get hurt. Want that? Good. Then do what I say. Okay. Let's go.
Not 5 years old.
Then keep up.
And so, Statham's character decides to take it under himself to protect her. Now, everybody is after them now. Not just the Russian mob and the Chinese mob, but also some New York City cops, because things do lead down the line where it involves the mayor and somebody else. And it gets tangled up in a huge, massive web of people wanting this girl because of these numbers that she's remembered. Because it leads to something that's highly sought after, which leads on to something else which is even more valuable, and everybody wants this item. The film itself, for me, the first 20 minutes of the film was what I enjoyed the most. I liked the fact that the director decided to give the lead action role, in this case Jason Statham's Luke Wright, a bit of a backstory, a more coherent backstory, in the fact that he did have a wife who got killed. And normally when you see these kind of movies where the person's wife get killed, the thing that goes through that person's mind is revenge, instant revenge. But not in this case. It actually, he sort of like bottles it up inside, and his life gets worse and worse and worse. The fact that he's made a vagrant, he lives on the streets, he has to live in hostels where he's thrown out of one of them because a person in the bed beside him gets killed, and they don't want that kind of business around. And so he's a vagrant, and it sort of adds more to Statham's character. It's unfortunate, though, that gets lost completely in the last part of the film itself. There is a few decent action scenes. It follows the same traits that these kind of movies follow. There is anything special about this movie. Catherine Chan, who plays me, she's usable as a character, but not that much. She's actually non-existent in a chunk of the film itself. It's violent for a 15. There is some really good shootout scenes in the movie, but it's a very predictable movie, and I was hoping that it would have followed suit with the way it was telling the character story at the start of the film, the fact that it gave him more of a backstory, but it just lost that, and the film itself just became average the more you watched it, leading to an ending which is predictable. You can predict it a mile off. So overall, it's an okay film.
I mean, for me, the way I would put it together quickly is just say it lives up to its name. It is safe, which unfortunately is where I have a problem with it. I don't think it's amongst Statham's best films. I don't think it's amongst his, to be honest, his even good films. I think it's just average and takes far too long to get where it's going, which by the time you get there, what does happen isn't especially exciting enough that it's worth it, as far as I can say. The journey was not as much as fun as it should have been, and it's for that it was disappointing for me. So we're kind of the same on that one too, but I think you enjoyed it more than I did.
No, I think I'm actually probably the same as you, because did you not find that the story at the first 20 minutes of his character was it was more interesting than what you would normally expect of a film like this? Because the fact that it did give him more of a human element rather than being a person who's lost his wife and he instantly seeks out revenge.
Yeah, well, I mean, I kind of do, but again, I kind of have a bit of a problem with that, because the way that whole sequence starts with him, he basically walks into his house. You don't get to see what he sees, but then he just walks along, stops, goes down on his knees, and is like turns around to them and is like, "Go on, get it over with." He doesn't try to take out one of them first before they kill him, and which is what he's expecting to happen. And it's just like, for me at that point, I was just like, "Come on, do something! Don't just sit there like a cat."
Okay, good choice.
I'm going to go on to my next one though before I have a temptation to swear any further. The Pirates in an Adventure with Scientists, or if you're listening in the States, the Pirates Band of Misfits, as it's been renamed over there. It's an Aardman animation directed by Peter Lord and Jeff Newitt, following the adventures of the pirate captain, voiced by Hugh Grant, and his crew, as they're sort of going about their everyday thing, and they return to the port for all the pirates, where the pirate captain is going to enter in the competition for the I can't even remember the name of it now. That's how it's like the best pirate captain, the best captain of it. A competition which he's sort of laughed at by everyone there because he's entered it every year and always failed to win. He's always been beaten out by these other pirate captains who are much more better than him and plunder and much more like a conventional pirate as you expect. He's too nice and too fine, and he's not really a pirate as you would expect. During his attempts to plunder, during a sequence which is quite humorous, where he goes on all these different ships, and they're the kinds that don't have any money or anything on them, nothing which makes it worth their while. He then runs into a ship which is a science expedition with a group of scientists, including Charles Darwin, voiced by David Tennant, who notices that his parrot isn't actually a parrot, but is the last surviving dodo of the extinct species of dodo. Then he sort of convinces the captain that they'll be riches for him if he goes to London, where he is being hunted by, as being a pirate, is being hunted by the Queen, to actually then enter into the science fair and enter in the fact of having this living dodo. Don't have a clip for this because I really, to be honest, wasn't bothered about trying to find one. The reason I wasn't particularly bothered about trying to find one is because, as much as the animation is good in this and it's a perfectly fine film, I'm not into it. I just didn't get into it. I did see it when it was in the cinema, and the fact is, I saw it at the cinema, and if it was that good, I would have remembered a lot more of it. I had to watch it again on DVD and to refresh my memory of it so I could review it tonight. And it's perfectly fine. It has a decent story to it. If you're watching it with kids, they'll love it. You'll like it. You won't think there's anything special about it, though. I mean, it's similar to another film, a kids' film that we reviewed earlier in the year, Puss in Boots, or was it last year?
This year.
Was it this year? Puss in Boots, which is a similar kind of problem where it's an okay film. The animation in it is brilliant. Again, it's hand animation, like Play-Doh or plasticine, whatever you want to call it. It's all models that have been sculpted and hand moved, so it's stop motion animation, which takes a lot of work, and that is really good in it. There are lots of visual gags in the film as well, which I applaud them for doing, because it means they've taken even more time to do. But the problem is that the story is just very meh, and by the time it's finished, I was like, yeah, that was okay, but in a few sort of weeks, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to remember much of it, which is to say it didn't really leave a lasting impression, and that is for the second time I've seen it. I remember more of it now because I have just watched it this afternoon, but aside from that, it's just unfortunately a bit of a weak story to it. I think the voices are fairly fine in it. Hugh Grant isn't actually recognisable as a captain. I didn't recognise it was him. I had to look it up again. You've got Martin Freeman in there playing his second in command. You've got Selma Hayek plays another pirate captain. You have who else is in? Oh, you've got a small bit in there with Brian Blessed, the great Brian Blessed.
Awful impression.
Shut up. Playing the Pirate King. But Oh god, my voice is starting to go now. It's
your fault.
It's just not particularly notable. There's just nothing of it that stands out and really makes it brilliant. So my recommendation is, if you really want to see it, then get it and watch it. But if you really want to see it and you're thinking, I'm going to watch it with my kids, thank you, Mr. Moves, for Gordon's Alive. That was better, but not brilliant. It's
Can I
disappointing.
just stop you there then?
Yeah, move on. It's just disappointing.
Please.
Move on.
Okay, Cold Light of Day, directed by Mabruk El Mertri, or Metri.
This should be good.
Yeah, it's the last film he did was JCVD, which is the Jean-Claude Van Damme film where he starred as himself.
I still haven't seen that.
Neither have I, actually, because I'm not a fan of Jean-Claude Van Damme. This stars Henry Cavill, who's going to be playing Superman in Zack Snyder's Man of Steel. You're seeing I'm actually leaving off the impressions this week. But yeah, he plays Will, who's this business guy who decides to go on holiday to Spain to meet up with his family, just to have sort of like a holiday in Spain away from his business. He gets picked up by his father. They have a slight conversation. Father, played by Bruce Willis, Martin. They have a conversation in the car on to meet up with the rest of the family. They end up having some wine, have a chat, the night turns up. He then ends up getting a phone call to say that his business has gone bankrupt, which sort of like puts Will in a bit of a stupor. The next year they end up taking the boat, this boat out, going sailing. Somebody ends up having an accident because of Will's fault. Will then says that he wants to go off into town. He'll end up getting something to ease the pain on the person who's had the accident. Coming back from town, he discovers that the boat's gone missing. He looks around for the boat, all up until the night. He goes into the police to ask them if they can help them. The police brings him back to the area where it is, but something suspicious happens when the police try to arrest him to take him back. He ends up escaping, where he is where he's actually rescued by Martin, played by Bruce Willis. Here's a clip.
Where's Mom? Where's Josh? I'm not sure where they are.
What? I asked you, where's Mom, where's Josh? I left them with you.
Men came on the boat. They put a gun to my head and they took your mother and Josh and Tara.
What the hell is happening?
I'm sorry.
What? Why are you sorry? What?
Will, I don't book gospel quartets and Picasso experts. That's not the job I do at the embassy. The only thing that's true is that I've worked for the government a long time.
So what do you do?
It's a branch of the agency.
Mom and Josh are gone. You're CIA, and you don't know where they are?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, thanks to Bruce Willis there, he actually explained a little bit, which I forgot to mention, the fact that when he gets back to the boat, he discovers that his family's gone missing, and that's the reason why he's gone to the police. So thank you, Bruce Willis. Later on, just after you've heard that clip, an accident happens. He ends off getting killed for some reason, because it involves Carrick, played by Sigourney Weaver, and she's there for ulterior motives. There's this case that's involved as well with this with the Spanish people who've kidnapped Will's family and demands this case to come back. And I'm not going to reveal any more details because that's the whole main plot of the last part of the film. The film itself is not very good at all. It follows
Don't sugarcoat it. Don't sugarcoat it.
It follows a paint by numbers thing, so the same kind of thing that you'll have seen over and over again. It's just been released in US box office, in the US cinemas, where it didn't even crack the top 10. It went to number 13. So it just shows you how actually bad this film is. It plods along at a really laborious pace. Everything in this movie is just done. It's not done very well at all. The acting is awful. Henry Cavill is just terrible in this movie, and it doesn't hold up very highly when he's playing Superman next year, considering that it is being directed by Zack Snyder. Now, Zack Snyder cannot get the best out of his actors. In my eyes, the best film of his was the Dawn of the Dead remake, and everything he did from there has gone downhill. So he can't get the best out of his actors. So if this is what Henry Cavill can do, then, oh God, I'm not looking forward to Superman at all. Even though the teaser trailer that was released is actually quite interesting. Bruce Willis is just there for a paycheck, the same as Sigourney Weaver. She is shooting herself in the foot really badly. She's killing her career because she's after Abduction as well. Abduction's not a very good film, and this belongs to the same category of really. It's honestly it's a bad film and it should not be watched.
I don't really have anything more to say on it, except I'm getting rather scared now because we've agreed on like 3 out of 4 of these films tonight. It's kind of worrying. That's never really happened.
Next.
You haven't seen this one, so I guess it's just been me then. The Hot Potato, which, what a title of a film, eh? It's a British comedy written and directed by Tim Lewiston, supposedly based on true events where in 1969... in London, a couple of sort of chancers, they find in the remains of this Ministry of Defence building that's burned down or had an explosion. They find this big metal case and they bring it back to sort of their workplace. The two of them played by Ray Winston and Jack Houston, who bring it back to their sort of their factory workplace they have, where they sort of try and figure out what they're going to do with it. Here's a clip.
Well, it's a very nice box. Yeah. I think it's made out of that beryllium stuff.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's got combination locks, inserted handles. It's very expensive. And you don't know what's in it.
Oh, something we can flog, hopefully.
Yeah.
Don't tell me you're not a little bit interested.
Interested, yeah. Mad, no. Look, I'm trying to run a legit business here.
All right, fair enough. I'll take down Morris then.
Morris? Maury? You trust Maury?
If you're not going to help me.
Well, it's here now, isn't it?
The two then find that inside of this metal case is what looks like, and one of them describes it as, a hot potato with ears. It actually turns out to be a collection of uranium that has been stored in there, and they then set about trying to find someone to sell it off to and try and make some money off of it. It's the thing is with this, I think it's a small film because I've not really seen it anywhere. I think it's gone straight to DVD. I don't know if it got a cinema release, but
no, it didn't.
The thing of it is, it's not a bad film. I kind of enjoyed it. It's not a brilliant film, but it kind of reminded me of things like The Sting, the sort of the 60s and 70s kind of movies, which were heist movies and crime movies, sort of caper movies. There's little bits of humour in it here and there from the characters and things that they do. It's not a laugh out loud comedy, but it's just it's kind of like the Italian Job, the original Italian Job, that kind of humour and a group of people pulling off a heist sort of thing. So it's not a bad film. It's just it isn't cinema worthy. It is a decent straight to video film. So if you do like that kind of thing, I mean, Ray Winston is brilliant in it. You can't fault Ray Winston in most films. Jack Houston's even pretty good in it, and I don't know if he's British born or American born, but his British accent in it's fine. You've also got other people turning up in there, like Cole Meany, who's been in lots of these kind of films. He's perfectly fine in what he has. Even surprisingly, you have in a small part Louise Redknapp in her first acting role. And she's not bad in it. She doesn't have much to do, but she's not bad in it. So overall, it's okay. I will say this, the music in it, I'm a big fan of film scores, and anyone who knows the music of John Barry, if you like his music, check out this film, because it's not by him. It's by a guy, see if I can get his name quickly. The guy that does the music on this film is Guy Farley, who I'm sure must have worked with him or something, but he sounds very much like him, and I enjoyed that throughout the film as well. So if you're a fan of John Barry's work, who did a lot of the old Bond music, then check this out for that alone. But anyone else who likes a good sort of, like the Bank Job, that kind of a thing, who likes that kind of a crime caper sort of thing, sort of light-hearted comedy, then check this out. It's not bad. I'll just let you go quickly on through your your alternative for the week. I'm not going to say the title.
Nosferatu Ein Symphony des Grauen. It's a 1922 film, so I've gone way back. It's directed by F.W. Murnau. It's the classic. It stars Max Schreck, who plays Dracula, and if you've seen anything from a Fast Show sketch to it was used in a lager advert in the 90s, if I remember correctly, that iconic scene of the shadows of Dracula creeping up the stairs with sort of like really creepy hands and the bald head and kind of thing, that is from Nosferatu. It is the basis of all vampire films. It's better than what Mary Shelley did with Dracula and Frankenstein, what she wrote, because Max Schreck, what he decided to do, he decided to live the character through the entirety of the movie itself. He decided to, on the set, steer as Dracula throughout, so he never went out of character. And so if you're a fan of horror movies and you've not seen Nosferatu, there is something seriously wrong for you. It's an absolute classic movie, and it still holds up today. It's in black and white, it's silent, and it is really goddamn scary, and I highly recommend it.
Okay, that's it for our show this week. Thank you for listening live if you have been, or if you're listening to us on one of the other services you've got, like, what have we got? YouTube,
SoundCloud.
I've gone completely blank. iTunes. If you're interested as well, you can check out our website. Yeah, Spreaker, where we're on now. You can also check out our website, mondaymovieshow.co.uk. You can follow us on Twitter at Monday Movie Show, or you can find us both on there. I'm at AHDVD. Stuart is at Cryptic Tadpole. You can also check out a few of our sort of friend sites that we've got. We're part of the Podgods Network, which is podgodsnetwork.com, and there's followingthenerd.com, which is Following the Nerd. Until next Monday at 7:30 again, I've been Andrew.
And you still haven't asked what our film of the week is?
I haven't, no. I'm just getting rushed because I'm seeing we're close on time.
No, we're not, actually. We've got 2.5 minutes. So.
Oh, we've got 2.5 minutes. Okay, let's just... what's the clock go?
Doom, 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 doom. I think we should actually say what the film of the week is.
Yeah. What's your film of the week?
Dread, 3D.
Oh, I now I really am scared. I really am. This is... Something's not right. What's the date today again?
The 10th.
10th of September. I think this is going to be like a Halloween. Dread is also my recommendation for movie of the week. So we've had the week where we're agreeing. I'm going to look out the window, see if there's a full moon or something. Something's not right. I don't know.
Yeah, next week it's probably going to be the same with one film as well, because we're reviewing Avengers Assemble on Blu-ray and DVD, and I think we felt the same about it. So.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm not sure. Maybe we'll see what else is out in the cinema. Until next week, have a good week, and we'll see you then.
Bye. And we forgot to mention something else as well. Go follow the Go Awesome Squad on Twitter. Me and Andy are a part of that. We've just been notified that by Boogalord on the chat. So interrupting the show at the end there. Until next week again. Bye.